Good morning, yogis. Hope everyone is doing all. Sorry, 1 second. Awesome morning, happy Friday. I hope you guys are having a great week. 1 second. Morning, welcome. My name is Nicholas. Morning. Is that? Have a great class. Thank you, Breakout. Morning, Hector. Ready for some yoga. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Friday. Anyway, we're about to get started. So kind of the same props. Last week we were working on some of those hop dances, and I kept talking about like maybe we'll try them on a wall. Maybe I'll demo that. So today I think is the day. It's not, especially if you're just joining, or maybe you're still feel that you're newer to yoga, not comfortable doing inversions. Remember everything that I'm doing, and especially when we get to it, I'm going to try to give as many options. But it is all can be modified, and it's all optional. So you're doing it from your home. Skip it if you need to just chill for a second, sit down, have a moment, breathe. That's perfectly fine. Again, go where you feel most comfortable with. I don't want anyone to push past limits where they feel like it's just gone too far for them and they can't go do those next things. So kind of just been trying to incorporate different things. So you decide when we get there, but totally up to you. With that being said, let's go and get started. We're gonna sit nice and tall, crossing at your shins. Now, last time, later when it comes up, but just in case, I demoed with a chair. So if you have a chair, again, a couch, even a bed, something just elevated to get your feet up a little higher would be nice. And then again, if you have a blank space on a wall, should you choose to kind of work towards a few kick-ups to handstand, hopefully maybe a wall. Again, actually a bed might even work, or a couch. So when we get there, I'll explain all of that. That being said, again, back in. Go ahead and bring your hands to your thighs. As you sit nice and tall, go ahead and broaden through your collarbones, lengthen your spine, soften your shoulders. I'm just feeling grounded here in your space. And just taking a moment, allowing your breath to begin to deepen, allowing your inhales to get a little bit longer. See if you can take in just a little bit more air and even play with it. See if you can get to that kind of like end where you think you've completely filled up your lungs, and then see if you can sip in just a little bit more. And then exhale it. Whether it's out of your nose, out of your mouth, kind of just getting your breath to flow. And we tend to have one that is a bit longer, whether it be the inhale or the exhale. The whole goal of that, though, is to make them both even, so that the same amount of air that you're inhaling is the same amount that you will exhale. Allowing your shoulders to soften, your jaw to soften, your neck to be long. On your next exhale, pressing all the air out, drawing your belly towards your spine. Now let's take a nice deep inhale together. Out your mouth, let it go. 2 more deep breath in. And release. 1 more deep breath in. And release. And just gently pressing your lips together. And again, just getting your body moving this morning, kind of calming the nervous system down a bit, but heating up internally with your breath. And you can just go and gently lower your chin towards your chest, softly bow your head. And whatever goal, whatever intention you have set for your morning practice, allowing that kind of come to your mind here. Any goals? And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and bring your head back to neutral. Good morning. All right, go ahead and take your hands right next to your hips. And just very gently, make sure you're sitting as tall as you can. You want to make sure you're not sinking back into your lower back, rolling off your sitting bones as tall as you can. And then go ahead and gently drop your left ear over towards your left shoulder. Now, as both shoulders gently soften down away from the neck. Again, just a nice release. Now, feel free to take your time with it. Just a slight tilt of the chin up. Gets a little bit more towards the front of our neck. You might feel that difference. And then maybe even feeling a slight tilt of your chin down. Ooh, those upper traps getting towards the back of the neck. So you decide, taking a couple rounds here with that head to the side. Just a nice softening through your jaw. A release through your neck as you inhale, especially if you're turning your head, you can take the gaze up. And as you exhale, get that grounded energy shifting down. Taking about one more round of breath here. And then go ahead and bring your head back to neutral. Pause, nice and tall, shoulders soft, and other side. As you tilt the chin over, just notice. First start to notice where that stretch goes. If it stays in the neck, if you feel it all the way to the shoulder, I can feel it all the way into my shoulder, my shoulders. And feel free. Maybe you gently release the chin down, hitting into the back of the neck. And then maybe the chin reaches up. You decide, play with it for a moment here. Just a gentle softening through your neck, a gentle release. Ooh. No right or wrong answer. Connecting your breath as best as you can. Keep that breath flowing. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Pause, sitting nice and tall. Let's go and take your right palm, flip it up to the sky, and then go and take that right arm all the way up and over. Now softening your shoulder down away from your ear. Maybe you take the gaze up. Pressing that right sitting bone down into the mat. Take another inhale. And exhale. Inhale brings you up. And go ahead and switch sides. Bring your right hand down. Flip your left palm. Bring it up and over. Woo. Big stretch into those side ribs. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. And again, you decide. Maybe the gaze goes up. Side opening. One more round of breath here. And bring yourself all the way back up. And let's go and take both palms, flip them up and overhead. And reach up and overhead. Now take your hands, interlace all 10 fingers. Press your palms up to the sky. Now try to press your thumbs a little bit more up as well. And then gently draw your pinkies back. So you get a little bit more of this rotation through the arms, through the shoulders. So getting that here, I'm even pulling my hands slightly back behind over my head. Now remember, we're trying to make sure we're not sitting here. Sit as tall as you can, and then pulling the arms back slightly. Now from here, I want you to flip your palms back towards your head. Extend. Now you're going to change the grip of your interlace. So the awkward fingers will cross on top. Pressing, especially your index and thumb up towards the sky. And again, just your mobility, wherever it is. If it feels all right to reach those arms back just slightly. Take another inhale. And exhale. One more round of breath. And go ahead and gently release. All right, let's take you all the way back up into all fours. Go ahead and plant your palms, bring your hands down onto your mat, and just taking a few rounds of cat-cow. Oops, I need to change the angle of my camera. Hold on, I'll adjust in a moment. But go ahead and set your shoulders up over your wrists, your hips over your knees. As you inhale, begin to pull your heart forward. As you exhale, round chin to chest. Keep moving into your cat-cow. Go this couple rounds here. But I like it because it's just a good, nice little pre-core warm-up. So as you bring yourself back to neutral, pause. Feel that lift through the belly, softening through the shoulders. And start to send your left foot straight back, a nice strong leg. And then you want to stick your right arm straight forward. Now it leaves the camera frame, I apologize. With right arm forward, left leg back, begin to hover that left leg off the mat. Now feel a nice lift through your center. Take an inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. 4 more, exhale. And reach. 3 more. Reach. 2 more. And reach. 1 more. And reach. Pausing here, find a nice little lift and length. Shoulders soft, left outer hip even with the right. Taking one more breath. And then go and gently release your right hand, release your left knee, pause. Tuck all 10 of your toes. As you exhale, lift your knees just off the mat. Hovering here, pausing, finding your breath. Soften your shoulders, 2 more rounds. One more round of breath here. And then go ahead and gently lower your knees down. Pause, untuck your toes, switch sides. Begin to send your right foot back. Draw the hip bones up. Send your left arm forward. Pause. Now connect through your core. Begin to hover your right leg off the floor. Take an inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. And 4 more. And reach. And 3. Reach. And 2. Reach. And then gently release your hand, release your knee. Good, now pausing here, tucking all 10 toes again. Soften your shoulders. Again, just creating a little bit more of that support into the core. Really stabilize, because if we're ever going to try to balance on our hands, you need to have, not just but secure, know how to turn it on, know how to manage it so that we're not taking it into other parts of the body, that the core is stable. And then from there, go ahead and start to adjust. Walk into your downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet, bending one knee and the other. As you draw those shoulder blades up and away from your ears. And then just a few rounds. After you've taken a few pedals, after you've gotten some release into that lower back, pressing your inner thighs back, draw your shoulder blades up away from your ears. And just a couple rounds here. As you inhale, begin to shift forward. Now remember all that. Exhale, hips up and back. 2 more. Inhale, reach. And exhale, up and back. And again. And up and back. Let's take one more round. Now go ahead and shift it all the way forward. Toes, your big toes to touch at the back of your mat. Broaden through your collarbones. Now take your left foot, hover it just off the mat. Whoo! Now you feel that right quad really turn on. Don't let that left outer hip drop down. Keep it nice and square. Take another inhale. As you exhale, gently release the left foot. Hover the right. Pausing here. Reaching your tailbone back. Hip bones lift up. Soften your shoulders. Taking one more inhale. Gently release the foot. Pause. Take another breath in here. Control. Exhale, gently lower onto your belly. Nice. Now check how those arms are feeling. Check how the core was supporting. We were in that plank for a while. Plant those palms next to your ribs. Hug your elbows in. And as you inhale, take a nice little low cobra. Broaden through the collarbone, soften through the shoulders. Now just to heat up our upper back a little bit more. Keep the torso low. Hover your hands just off the mat. 2 more breaths here. 1 more round of breath. Gently release your hands, release your head, pause. On your next inhale, again, lift. Now keep it low again, because we're gonna lift those hands one more time. Soften your shoulders, hover the hands just off the mat, pausing here. Now this time, can you add the legs? Maybe the left leg, right leg, connect them. Feel that nice lift here. All that connection through the back of the body. Nice broad collarbones, take one more inhale. Exhale, gently lower. Now keep your hands planted on the mat. As you inhale, press into the arms a little bit more, but still keep that connection through the core. Shoulders stay soft away from the ears. Take one more inhale. Tuck your toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Gentle nod, yes. Gentle shake, no. Coming high up on your toes, bend your knees, bend your hips back as far back as you can, and then let's just go ahead. All that, reach back, walk those feet up. Take a moment, let your head hang, clasp your hands. And then go ahead and gently release your hands, soften your shoulders, interlace your hands behind your back. Draw your shoulder blades together, and then from here, knees are still bent. Let the head hang. Now try not to lock your elbows out to hyperextension. Keep a soft bend, and then work your knuckles up away from your ears. You decide. Maybe the legs straighten a little bit more. Engaging. Maybe the wrist shift a little bit more forward. Soften through the jaw, through your neck. Ooh, my shoulders are tight. Taking one more round of breath. And then as you exhale, gently release. Now if you need to tell for that, remember you can, or hands on hips works better. Taking a moment in your forward fold if you need more time. Now taking your hands either onto the mat or onto your shins as you inhale halfway. Now, nice strong core. Lengthen. Exhale, fold. 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Now one more, I want you to pause halfway, so keep that length. Pausing here, shoulders soft. Belly's lifted, bringing your hands to your hips. Inhale, brings you all the way up. Standing tall. All right, bringing your big toes together. Nice and tall at the top of the mat, hands to heart, take an inhale. Exhale, hips back, chair pose. Grounding into the space. Lifting through that core, soften those lower ribs. Broaden, don't let it be around here. Lift through the heart. As you lift through the heart, I love to do this too. Poke my ribs up, draw them in. Now go ahead and extend the arms, pause. Find your breath, find your focus. What's your intention? Sticking with it, take another inhale. Exhale, gently fold. Inhale, halfway. Step your left foot back. Drop your left knee all the way down to the mat. Again, our nice simple lunge here as you inhale. You can float the arms up if you need support. Press onto the thigh. Just to get those hips open this morning, draw the belly in and up. Hug that right outer hip down. Taking one more round of breath. And then as you exhale, go ahead and gently release. Woo! Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Now if you need one more low lunge, keep the back knee on the mat. Otherwise, bring that back knee up, pause, soften your shoulders. As you inhale, hug your arms up and overhead. Now wrapping your triceps forward. Crescent pose. Find that nice strong lift through the center. Shoulders soft. Now just forward breath here, nice and steady. Take the palms, face them forward. Broad and take an inhale. Exhale, reach your heart out over that right thigh. Take an inhale. Exhale, gently release your hands. Step back into plank. Inhale. Exhale, hug the elbows in towards the ribs. Lower. Inhale, lengthen. Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking it through that vinyasa. Pedal out, re-dog. Now we're going to start to work towards a little bit of jumping here. Play with it. It can be a skip. It can be a full hop. We've got a few of them as we go. So from here, I want you to come onto your toes. I want you to look forward at the top of your mat. Now bend your knees. Nice deep bend. And at the end, bring those feet to the hands. Now, if it doesn't quite look like that, maybe it's a little skip step. However you can. Just some little air time. Play with it. Have fun with it. Bring the big toes together. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Arms overhead, stand. Hands to heart. Bend your knees, chair. Inhale. Pause for an exhale. Inhale, float your arms. Exhale. You've got this. One more, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale, dive. Inhale, halfway. Right foot steps back. Drop your right knee to the mat as you inhale. Punch. Awesome. Now sweep those arms up and overhead. Wrap the triceps forward. Belly lifts, tailbone reaches down. 2 more here. One more round of breath. And then exhale, gently release your hands. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee. Now pause. Come onto your fingertips. Broaden. Shoulders soft. Inhale. One nice long piece. Whoo! All from the core. So try not to think of rolling up. As you're connected through that core, you're stable, you're set, you're holding, you're supporting, taking one more breath here. And then gently release just the arms, palms face forward, nice deep bend. Now lift up through the center, broaden, reach the heart forward. Take another inhale. Exhale, gently release your hands. Now remember, vinyasas are always optional. You can skip them. They just keep heating up the practice. Inhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Nice deep breath. Out your mouth, let it go. 2 more rounds of breath. High up onto your toes, look forward. Bend your knees. Now again, try to spring hop. Try to get those shoulders over the wrist. A little bit of air time to the top. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Arms up and overhead. And hands to heart. Woo. All right, step your left foot all the way back. Keep your right foot forward. Now, make sure that the feet aren't lined up. That one's not directly in front of the other. Have some space. Hug the right hip back. Hip bones lift. Now a soft bend through your front knee. Soften your shoulders. Take an inhale. As you exhale, just a nice little fold. Now we're going to pause halfway. Feel that nice lift through the center. One more round of breath here. And then exhale, go ahead and fold. Now if you have to bend the knee, go for it. If you need a chair, take hold of a chair. Otherwise, you can just fold over that right leg. Left heel still pressing into the mat. Strong through that back leg. Now come all the way up onto your fingertips. Pause. Lengthen, soften your shoulders. Now we're going to reverse it. Take your hands back to your hips. As you inhale, find that hover. Pause for an exhale. Inhale brings you all the way up. Bend your front knee. Step it all the way to the top. And switch sides. Left foot stays forward. Right foot stays back. Hugging the left hip back. Hip bones lift. Now right heel. Dig it into the mat. Soften your shoulders. Soft bend. Slightly unlock that front knee. Broaden. Taking one more inhale here. As you exhale, release your hands. Now feel free to bend the knee a little bit more depending on your hamstring flexibility. Maybe it's a straighter leg, maybe you're just folding over the leg. Whew, it is an intense stretch. Now, especially for my really flexible friends, if your shoulders are just kind of hanging out and you're collapsed, that was very dramatic. But see if you could up to fold, so you're really still supported. And then as you inhale, everything's still pretty much aligned. Hugging that hip back as you inhale, hands to hips. Pause for a breath. Take another inhale. And exhale. Inhale brings you all the way up. Bend your front knee, go and step to the top of the mat. All right, we're going to play a little bit with hops here. We're going to go ahead and take you. Inhale, flip the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Now, if you've never played with hopping back, I do this sometimes. I'll jump into my vinyasa. So I'll jump into straight legs. If you're not quite jumping into straight legs, that is totally fine. Another great option is to bend your knees, palms into the mat. As you exhale, see if you can jump back into that kind of squatting position that we usually start in when I'm asking you to jump forward. It's the same thing. It kind of helps as a little shock absorber for the back. Sometimes that straight leg is very jarring for the back, and it's taken me a long time, a lot of practice to be able to do it that way. So feel free, if you want to play with it, go for it. Plant your palms, bend your knees. Now, again, keep your gaze forward. Don't let the head drop. Keep looking forward. Take an inhale. And then you can shift into a plank pose. It's a nice, different, controlled way. Feel free to try one more time. As you bend the knees, plant your palms, take your gaze forward, take an inhale. As you exhale, maybe you spring hop it back, shift forward, and then you go into your vinyasa. Again, just good practice, good ways to play. Just getting into some of those positions. And if you want to just play with hopping, because ultimately that's how we get those feet to come up off the floor together. Shoulder blades lift. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, come forward, knee to nose. Two more. Exhale, forward. One more. Exhale, forward, pausing at the top. Step your foot between your hands. Now I want you to go ahead and drop your back heel. Now here, align. Front heel, back big toe. As you inhale, I want you to sweep your left arm forward, right hand to the outside of your right leg. Exhale, sweep it up. Maybe you straighten that right leg. And again, sweep it forward. And bring it up. Two more. And up. One more. And bring it all the way up. Now pause here. We're headed right into that triangle pose. We skipped our warrior two today. We're going right to triangle. A little trick. Broaden. Now either hand on the mat. If you need more height, hand on your shin. You can always bend that front knee slightly. Find the broadening here, find the opening to the side, taking one more inhale. And then as you exhale, gently release your hand. Now, turn all the way to the left side of your mat. Turning your toes to the side, and then go ahead and gently just fold. Release your head down. Send your sitting bones up towards the sky. Shoulder blades lifted away from your ears. Any of my friends who maybe their head is really close to the mat, you can walk your hands back slightly. Keep your elbows reaching up. Rest the top of your head on the mat. One more breath. Now, go ahead and walk your hands forward. Pause. Come on to your fingertips. Now, soft bend through your knees. Take your hands to your hips. On your inhale, whoo, feel that core support. All that lift through the center. On your next inhale, bring it all the way up. Nice. Now we're standing tall. Go ahead and take your right foot, turn your right toes forward. Take your left toes, turn your left toes up. And now, warrior two. Nice deep bend, inner thigh forward. Arms reach out. Extend, lengthen. 2 more rounds of breath here. Nice and calm. 1 more round. Flip your front palm, reach it up, take it back, get a nice long stretch. And then as you exhale, windmill forward, pausing here at the top of the mat. Lift your back heel. Step your foot all the way to the top. Bring your big toes together. Bend your knees. Shift your hips back. Take those legs out in front. Whoo. Boat pose. Hands can come to the thighs. Arms can reach forward and hold. Otherwise, we got 5 to lower and let's get that core. Take an inhale. Exhale down. Inhale up. 4 more. And up. 3 more. And up. 2 more. 1 more round here. Pausing at the top. Take a nice breath here. And exhale. Go ahead and gently release your feet. Now you're more than welcome to just swing your feet around. Why not? Because it's fun. You can swing your feet around. Come to that forward fold. Pause. Now just that little bit of heat that we added to the core. Incorporate that here. Plant your palms. Broaden through your collarbones. And from here, bend the knees. And see if you can get that little air time. Hop back to shift forward. And then bring it down. Taking it through your vinyasa. Plant your fingers. Draw your shoulder blades up away from your ears. A little release through your neck. Left side. 3 rounds to start. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. And back. 2 more. And back. 1 more. Pausing at the top. Step your foot between your hands. So if you're to grab that foot, bring it up. Now, drop your back heel. So we're setting up like a warrior. 2 legs. Nice deep bend, left hand to the outside of that left leg. As you inhale, shift your arm forward. As you exhale, you can extend and broaden. And again, inhale. Exhale, open. 2 more. And open. 1 more. And up, pausing here, stacking the shoulders. Soften your lower ribs in. Now again, adjust, take your hand where you need. Taking 1 more round of breath. And then gently release. Now pause. Bend your front knee. Turn your toes towards the right side of your mat. From here, all toes pointing towards. I angled myself slightly, but all toes pointing towards the right side of your mat. Parallel feet. Exhale, fold. Let your hands release. Now if you want to get a little deeper into the shoulders this time, you can even take your hands, interlace them behind your back. Ooh. Shoulder blades stay lifted. Taking 2 more breaths. Engage, draw your kneecaps up, hugging the outer hips in, taking 1 more breath here. And gently release. Inhale, come up halfway. Now connect your center. Soft bend through your knees, broaden. Left hand, maybe right hand. If that helps doing 1 hand at a time, go for it. And then that center, feeling the broadening. Inhale, brings you up. Woo. And then go ahead and set it up into your warrior 2. Let me adjust left toes forward, right toes up. Nice deep bend. Extend, let. As the hip bones lift up, pressing the palms down and take your front arm. As we take 2 more breaths, find that nice extension, find that nice length through the sideways. And we're going to rotate that top arm. Bring it all the way up. 1 more round of breath here. As you exhale, gently release. Now take your gaze forward. Step all the way to the top of your mat. Ooh. Take your feet this time. Go and walk them out to the side. Rotate your toes slightly, and then sink your hips down. Our Yogi Squat. Whew. All right, dropping those hips down towards the mat. Okay, we're good on time. For my friends whose heels are lifted, that is fine. You can bring a little towel, something underneath your heels to elevate. If you just need to keep the hands down and supported, because I know it's a big stretch, you can stay here, that's fine. Try not to really round into it though. Even if the heels are lifted and you have hands down, try to keep that nice length through the spine. If your heels come all the way down to the mat, awesome. Press them down to the floor. Palms together, broaden. Now we're just here for a second. If this is enough, stay here. If you want to take it towards that balance, bring your fingertips down to the mat. Press into your fingertips. Now I keep saying this today because we've been hopping, we've been jumping around. So one time we're really breaking that rule of that line through the cervical spine where I'm telling you to purposely lift your chin. Same thing here. As you come onto your toes, you connect your knees onto your triceps, take your gaze forward. Now use your core, all that work of that support through that center. As you bend your elbows, resting your knees onto your triceps, taking 1 foot, maybe the other, playing with that lift. But that center, with those hips nice and high, with the gaze forward, play with it. As you shift weight over those hands, taking one more round of breath. Whoo! And shift it down and back. Hopefully that went well for you, yogis. If you literally just got the hands down and you're just playing with shifting weight forward, that's fine. That's a huge deal, because we don't often put our weight into our hands with our face so vulnerable like that. So it can be scary at first. Take some time. My yoga assistant. Go and gently release. For any of my friends who do want to hop it back, feel free to take that bend, take an inhale, and then exhale. You can do that nice little hop back. Shift it forward, lowering down. Take it through your vinyasa. Whew. And up and back. Nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, need to nose step your foot between your hands. Now, what I want you to focus on here with this next round is our back leg. So we're headed into our balance, our warrior three. I want you to press through that leg. It's important because if you ever want to kick your legs up over your head towards a handstand, if your legs are not engaged and working, they're very heavy, they become dead weight, and they will easily knock you off your center, throw you off your balance. So, what I want you to focus on here is all this support, all this setup here that we have for Warrior 3. But as you go into your Warrior 3, don't let that back leg just be dead and kind of forget about it. Press through the back leg and extend. Yes, we need a strong supporting leg. Yes, we need a strong center. Those things we can remember because we're on the leg and we have to use the core. But this back leg we forget about. So use that back leg to find that extra balance. Taking 2 more rounds of breath here. 1 more round. Now gently release your hands towards the mat. Pause. Now we're headed towards a skating split. Make sure your feet and hands are close enough. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Our hump. We're going to go ahead and play. Bend your right knee. And then as you exhale, take up and switch. Now notice, when I bring my legs up over my head, they don't start to get all crazy and like they're jello and forget what they're doing. Their purpose is to support and stand and hold it. So even though they're up in the air and they're not technically weight bearing at that moment, you need them to be engaged, because if they go crazy, they'll throw you off. They're too heavy to be out of control. So taking a couple rounds here, gazes forward, little hop switch, maybe 1 more round, little hop switch, and then go ahead and take a moment, come to the top of your mat, fold, release, soften your neck, gentle nod yes, gentle shake no, and you decide, take it back to down dog. You can hop, you can jump, you can skip. If you want to play with dropping right back into that chaturanga, you're welcome to. It's a fun challenge. Nice deep inhale. Let it go, exhale. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, need to know, step your foot between your hands. Now from here, pause, same thing. We got the right leg behind us. Come onto your fingertips. Same basic setup. If you've been taking with me since the beginning of this whole business, we do Warrior 3s a lot. All about the core, softening shoulders, broad collarbones. But I realized I forgot to talk more about that back leg. But since now we're headed towards those inversions, it's important. Focus on the energy through that back leg, that power and support. Remember, everything in the body working together. It's not just one part at a time. It's your focus, it's your intention, it's your breath, it's all the muscles. 1 more breath. And gently release. Now, if you had enough with those kick-ups, that's fine. Take a moment. You can even take a child's pose, grab water. If you want to play with it again, bend your left knee. Take your gaze forward. As you exhale, take the hop switch. Now again, the more, and you can see, even as I kick up, as I get my hips over my shoulders, that's where I'm getting to my balance point. If you're at the center of your room, just be careful if there's anything around you. I don't want you falling on anything. Again, this is perfect too. We're going to take a moment, optional, to make your way to a wall when we get there. So I'll show in just a moment. After you've done a couple rounds, go ahead and bring your feet forward. Pause. Let's just take a nice little forward fold, clasp hands to elbows, little sway. And then go ahead and gently release your hands. Inhale, lengthen halfway. step or hop. If you need a moment, take a child's pose. Here would be a great time. Otherwise, you can take it through your vinyasa. And bring your knees down. Good. So, here's what I've been talking about, where I've been wanting to say, maybe we're going to take this to a wall. Now's the time we're going to do it. So if you're thinking that the kick-ups are already kind of scary for you, they're not quite there yet, that is fine. I'm going to give you different options. I'm going to adjust my camera. Remember, if you're just like, nope, Nicholas, not right now. And let me shift it over, making sure I can see. All right, perfect. So from here, if you have a wall, preferably a wall that you can kick up onto, that's where you're gonna go. Now, from here, you're gonna set up so that your hands are gonna be just slightly back. If you don't have a wall space, a bed would pretty much work too. If it's a high enough bed, to be honest, if you fall over it, you fall onto your bed, so it kind of could be fun. I've not done that since I was a little kid, but I think it would work. I've never taught that in yoga before. But if you have a wall, awesome. Now again, making sure that your hands and your arms feel nice and strong, they're ready. We've done lots of vinyasas here. We've heated up those arms. I want you to spread the fingers. Now, you want to make sure your fingers aren't right against the wall. I would say bring them back about 6 inches, because you want to have room to shift forward to bring your shoulders over your wrist and your gaze forward. Remember, you don't want your head to drop down. You want to keep your head forward. So play with it. Make sure you have enough room that if you go forward, you're not going to bash your head into your wall. Now, spreading your fingers, plant your palms, bend, and here, you might not even go into a full handstand. Maybe it just brings you a little bit more security, like, oh, there's a wall behind me, so if I kick up, I'm not going to fall over, I'll fall onto the wall. So the wall is just kind of that option to play with, getting that feeling of, oh, I'm not as worried. Of course, if you want to, you can always use the wall to help support you, to bring you up into that handstand. For anyone who thinks maybe that's a bit scary, another great way to play is to bring your back all the way towards the wall. I'm just going to be here for about another minute or so. You can keep playing as you were. If that wasn't working, maybe you bring your hands down in front of you. Now my back is to the wall, hands are forward, and my heels are pressing up onto the wall, kind of like a down dog. And you can use your feet to press up and kind of get this feeling here. Now that one, if it doesn't quite work right away, again, because I can't see our bodies, usually what tends to happen is people don't take their feet up high enough and they'll go here, and it's really uncomfortable and their feet are sliding. The only way this one works, and I'm just showing it as a second option, I think the other option is better, but what you can do is lift the hips up, but you need to make sure your feet get up about as high as your hips, so that way you can press into the wall. But, again, I think taking out might work better. Try a couple more times. I'm going to readjust my camera back to where it was. Whew. Hopefully that was a fun little experiment. Hopefully you're playing with it, trying it. I know inversions can be very scary. And it's just that feeling of taking the gaze forward, again, supported through the core, and then just being able to kind of hop yourself up into a handstand. Now, it's taken me a lot of years to be able to do that. But that's where we are. It's all that center work. You notice my legs, as I went up, they were engaged, they were together. It's all part of that, and then it's just then getting over that fear. So once you're done, yogis, go ahead and meet me back at your mat. Let's come standing tall at the top of your mat. Whew. Take your hands to heart center, take a nice deep inhale. Out your mouth, let it go. One more big round here, inhale. Exhale, let it go. Let's go and flow it out, take an inhale. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Plant your palms, bend your knees. You can step or hop it either into vinyasa or straight back to your downward facing dog. And then shifting up and back. Now one last pose here. We're going for warrior one. Inhale, float your right leg up. And then bring your knee to your nose. Step your foot between your hands. Turn back. Perfect. And then go ahead and drop your left heel all the way down to the mat. Now hugging your right hip back, come onto your fingertips, broaden. As you inhale, sweep your arms up. Warrior one. Now your back heel's pressing to the mat. Your right outer hip is hugging back. Interlace your hands behind your back. Draw your shoulder blades together as you broaden, open up. And then as you exhale, take your time. Gently release into a humble warrior. Hugging your right outer hip back, reaching your knuckles up. One more round of breath here. And then as you exhale, go ahead and gently release your hands. Pausing here. Go ahead and lift your back heel. Bring your right hand to the inside, pulling your heart forward. Broaden here, just a nice deep lunge. Maybe you stay on the hands. Now I want you to keep the back leg charged just for now, because that's been the theme, that back leg work. Maybe, if available, you can bring the hands down towards the mat. Get a little bit deeper into that right glute stretch. One more round of breath here. And then taking your time, if you are down on your forearms, go and press yourself back up, pause, and then go ahead and step it all the way back to downward facing dog. Switching sides, go and take your left foot, bring it to the top. Bring your right heel all the way down. Hug your left hip back, broaden, and lengthen, float the arms up. Find that lift, belly lift, tailbone down, and then taking your hands, begin to interlace behind your back. Take the broadening, take the length, lifting the heart, and then as you exhale, gently let your left shoulder fall on the inside of that left thigh as the head drops down. Gentle nod, gentle shake. One more round of breath here. And then as you exhale, go ahead and gently release your hands down to the mat. Now pause. Bring your hands to the inside of your left foot. Lift your right heel. Broaden through your collarbones, either staying here on your hands. Maybe you drop all the way down to the forearms. Now the back leg is lifted because we're still trying to get that back leg to feel that charge, that power. We still haven't fully calmed down from the heat yet. We're making our way there though. 2 more breaths. One more. And taking your time, plant your palms, go ahead and step it back. Downward facing dog. And you can bring your knees down to the mat and just lower, or you can even play, try to hop your feet through your hands. Pressing the palms down, take your gaze forward. As you exhale, bring those legs out and in front. All right, we're gonna go right into our back bends now. I wanna kind of keep going with the heat, and then we'll take it into some pigeon and whatnot, all that good stuff. But from here, go ahead and bring your feet down into the mat, all 10 toes forward. Because we've been on the hands quite a bit with that focus of balance, I feel like it's a good time now to kind of head into a potential wheel pose, if that's available for you. So you're gonna shift onto your back. Let's start with bridge though. All 10 toes forward. As you exhale, brushing your heels with your fingertips, take your time, send your hips up. Tailbone reaches towards the knees, hip bones lift up. And then from here, interlace your fingers behind your back. Gently draw the shoulders slightly in towards each other to get your heart to lift a little bit more. Soften your lower ribs, and then keep wrapping your inner thighs down, reaching your knees forward. Two more rounds of breath here. One more breath. And exhale, go ahead and gently release. Now, I want you to feel that nice support and lift through the legs, of course, to get our hips up, but also that connection through the core. Now, if that's enough, stay with bridge, the pose we just did. If you want a little bit more, flip your palms, turn your fingers towards your shoulders. Now, we do it in parts. Keep your elbows hugging in towards the sky, and then as you exhale, you're going to press up onto your head. Pause. Lift your shoulder blades up away from your ears. Now use your legs. If you're just using your arms, it's even more challenging. Use the legs to ground, to lift. 2 more. 1 more. And gently lower yourself down. Ooh. Let your back settle onto the mat for a moment. And then go and take your knees, a nice hug. A nice rock and roll. And then go ahead and bring yourself all the way up to seated. All right, yogis. Let's go ahead. Let me double check. Oh my goodness, we got even more time. Awesome. I went through that handstand session quicker than I meant to, but it was a good prep, so I know for next time we'll have a little bit more time. Go ahead and bring your right knee forward. Go ahead and take your left foot, go ahead and start to swing it back. Now, once you're there, so notice I'm doing it right now, I'm all the way on my right hip. That's not how we want to do pigeons. So you have to use your right hand. You have to push yourself up, turn that left knee down to the mat, turn the left toes down to the mat, and you can see I've tucked my back toes. And then from there, let that right knee drop down. Now taking a moment here, just hugging the hip back, you can bring a block underneath your right hip if you have one, a towel, anything, a pillow to support. If it feels all right for you and you want to gently fold down, most important, no pain through this right knee. So if you need to come onto your back for thread the needle, which would look like this, you take the ankle across and go here. It's another great option for your pigeon pose. It's the same pose, it's the work of the front leg across that gets us there. So more than anything, we're trying to get that right glute. So taking some time. Wherever you are, no tension through your shoulders. Soften your shoulders down. Soften through your neck, through your jaw. Two more rounds of breath here. Now we're going to get out of this the same way we got into it. So I want you to gently drop onto your right hip. And then you're going to turn all the way to the left side of your mat. So now this left knee has to flip all the way up. Now we're going to keep that right foot. I want you to bring it all the way in towards the hips. As you sit tall, send the inner thigh up, reach the toes up, and then from here, bring your left arm to the outside. Now gently reaching down, turn your right palm up. Begin to extend up and over. Whoo. Now try not to let the shoulder, that right shoulder especially, fall forward. Really try to keep the lift. So even if that means you're up here, that's fine. If this is where your flexibility is, go there. Don't force it and then contort just to try to get deeper. You should be feeling the stretch here. So if you feel it up here, perfect. Stay up there. Again, when I'm demoing, and I know I'm probably not nearly as flexible as some of you, but I'm trying to go to where my max is just to kind of show the full effect of the pose. But our bodies are all different. So our experiences are all different. How long we've been doing yoga is different. So it's okay if it doesn't look exactly the same. If it's not quite as deep, you breathe, you do you. And on your next inhale, bring yourself up. And go ahead and switch. Now bring your left foot all the way across. I gotta turn all the way to the top of my mat. Bring your left ankle across, and you're gonna roll onto your left hip. Now reach your right leg back. Now remember, it's rotated, right knee's to the right. Now we wanna get that right knee all the way under. So I lift up, and I drop that right knee down. From there, hug my left hip back. I broaden, no pain. If there's pain, come onto your back, thread the needle. Here, maybe here, taking your time, gently lowering. Two more breaths. And walking your hands up. Now pausing here. I want you to go and do the same thing. So you're going to roll onto that left hip. Reach your right leg out to the side. Inner thigh is up. Sorry, I'm trying to angle so you can at least see. Hugging that left foot in. Now flex your right foot. Keep that right leg active. Reach your right arm to the inside. Reach your left arm up and over. Even if it's here, that's fine. Even if it's here. If you grab the foot, wonderful, great. Again, it doesn't matter where you go as long as you're getting the stretch for you. And my super flexible friends are just like snap in half, awesome. But can you get support then? Can you get muscle to help hold it? Flexible people always think that it's, or people who are not so flexible always think that really flexible people have such an easy time at yoga. It's actually sometimes the opposite. If you're really flexible to do yoga, it's really hard to get out of bad habits where you just kind of sink into your joints because your body will naturally do those things and fold you in half. In the long run, it's not always best for your body, especially your joints. So you're trying to build that muscle. So sometimes, even for flexible people, it's just the opposite. It's just they can't support themselves, whereas flexible people, unflexible or not as flexible, have a harder time getting into it. So never look at someone super flexible and think, wow, So much easier. They actually have to build a lot more strength to hold the poses. And then go ahead and bring yourself up. And I kind of rambled on there, so if it did make sense, don't worry about it. Go ahead and bring your legs out in front of you. And let's go ahead and bring both legs out. Extend, take the skinnier bum, gently lift it up, sitting nice and tall. And then from here, let's go ahead and take your arms up and overhead, nice big lift. And exhale, dive forward. Reaching for the feet, soften the shoulders, reaching for the mat, for the shins. If you just have your hands lifted, place them on something. Let the shoulders settle. And fold. Take a nice deep inhale. Broaden. Exhale, reach forward. 2 more here. Take your time, go ahead and inhale, bring yourself up. We're going to make our way onto our back, moving into our twist. As you gently hold onto your thighs, go ahead and gently lower yourself down. Pausing, go ahead and bring your right knee into your chest, send your left leg forward, and then as you exhale, go and take your knee across your body, pressing your right shoulder down to the mat, broadening along your collarbones. 2 more here. One more round of breath. And bringing yourself back to center. Pause, go and hug your right knee in. Give a little squeeze. And go ahead and gently release. Switching sides, bring your left knee into your chest. Give a little squeeze. And then sending that knee across your body. Pressing your left shoulder down into the mat. And bringing yourself back to center, hug. Go and give your left knee a little squeeze. And then go ahead and hug your right knee, and just a nice little squeeze as well. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, go and extend your legs out forward. Turn your palms up gently. Draw your shoulder blades together onto your back. And finding a moment here of just stillness, just a few moments, taking a comfortable inhale. A gentle sigh out your mouth. And begin to move into Shavasana. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bringing movement back to your fingers, back to your bones. And then taking your arms over your head, take a nice long stretch through your body. Bending your knees, rolling to your side, allow your breath to deepen. Your next exhale, press yourself up to seated the same way we started. Crossing out your shins. Go and bring your hands together to meet at heart center. Pausing as we sit nice and tall, as we soften our shoulders. Just our last few breaths here to feel grounded into space, into the mat. Take a deep inhale. Out your mouth, let it go. 2 more, deep breath in. And release. 1 more deep breath in. And release. Sealing in your practice, your work, your effort. Namaste. Awesome work, yogis. Thank you so much for joining me. I did want to ask if you attempted the handstands, how they went, how they felt, if you liked it. If you're like, I don't need to do more handstands, I can try to come up with other ways. And again, I'm just trying to bring in some different things that I haven't done yet before on this. So I'm trying to kind of play to see what's fun, but also great. Love the hop still. Cool, the hops, good. That makes sense. And I'm trying to do the hops now from the standing folded position to hopping back. So again, because I don't know where anyone is, couldn't do the handstand yet, but soon to practice. Awesome, but did it make sense? I know I kind of went through it very quickly today, so I feel like next time, I was nervous that I was gonna run out of time, so I rushed it. Bad yoga teacher mistake. So next time, I think if I go into it, I'll spend a little bit more time with it. I loved it. I want to be able to flow and eventually get to, okay, awesome, cool. I'm so glad. And it's Alicia, right? Alicia? Sorry, it just went up. But awesome. Cool. So I think next time, I do want to try that again next time. So if you're here next time, I'll spend a little bit more time with the handstand because, yeah, careful. And just make sure you do feel safe with it. A bed works too. Yeah, my walls are full of art, yes. Oh, awesome, cool. I'm glad. I wasn't sure. I was like, wait, awesome. I know, that's what's hard. So I wasn't sure, and that's what, I don't know what everyone's space is, so if that's even doable. So I might try to give us an option with the chair next time. I had mentioned it, and then I kind of ditched that, because I was hoping maybe we had a wall space, but I love that your walls are covered with art. I wish mine were, but they're not. So anyway, yeah, so I'll keep working on that. I'm going to think of a different way we can get into it. The floating is fun, and once you get it, it's kind of a cool thing. So, but thank you guys so much for joining me. I want to work on some of the same things next week, so if you're back, you know what we'll be getting into. And if not, have a great weekend. Have a great week, and hopefully I'll have you all around again soon. Bye. Thank you. Hector.